Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Rosie Talks. We could not be more excited today to talk to yet another incredible, amazing, original Rosie the Riveter, Ruth Wilson. Ruth Wilson worked on the Navy Yards in Philadelphia and worked as a sheet metal worker and helped to build the ships that supported the war effort. And she is one of the 600,000 African-American women who were part of that war effort. She has an incredible story, and I'm excited for you guys to get the opportunity to speak with her and talk to her about it. Each of you guys have prepared some pretty amazing questions, so I'm going to call on you in order to talk directly to Miss Wilson about that. So without further ado, let's get started.
How old were you when you first started working?
I first started working, I was about 13 years old. I used to go to work after school and work as a mother's helper.
Wow.
Hi, Miss Wilson. My name is Hope. During World War II, how did you feel doing a job that made it possible for the men to go to war?
Well, we felt very good because all the able-bodied men were at war. The rejects were helping us, and so that made us help them. We were doing work that men should have been doing.
What challenges did you face being a woman of color?
At the time, being a woman of color didn't get you very far. But what happened was, during the war, they wanted everybody to work. So being a woman of color at that point helped me very much because they gave me the job. They sent me to school. I did training for about 6 weeks, and then I came to the Navy Yard.
Hi, Ms. Wilson. It's so nice to meet you. So my question is, what was an important life lesson that you were able to take away from your experience helping during the war?
Well, one of the things that I learned was everybody is important. Everybody has feelings, and everybody should treat each other the way they wanted to be treated, regardless of your race, creed, or color.
Miss Ruth, it's so nice to meet you. So my question is, were there ever moments you felt like giving up? And if so, how did you overcome those moments?
Well, no, well, at a young age, we were taught never to give up. I learned that at home. So I never felt like giving up because somebody had to do the work, and I was chosen to do it, so I just went on and did it with a wonderful mechanic who taught me a lot.
Did it bother you that the We Can Do It poster did not represent all of the Rosies?
Well, not so much because we've been in this position. So it didn't bother me so much. But the gentleman that started it, I think it bothered him because he's very young. I grew up with discrimination, and he didn't. So that's where it started. Right. But after he got started on this, then I've seen where a lot of things should have been different.
What was your favorite part about being a Rosie the Riveter?
My favorite part was going to work every morning, meeting the people, because we had we had a wonderful friendship. I worked in Dry Dock 5, and you just got to know everybody. Even if you didn't know their name, you knew their face. And it was just like, hi. You know, you were glad to see everybody. It was like a League of Nations, because there were so many different nationalities down there. And all ages. I'll say from like 20s up to 55, 60s. It was really something because just being in the Navy Yard was an experience. And to be in a Dry Dock 5, I never knew what a dry dock was until I went there. It was really an experience.
Do all of you girls know what a dry dock is?
A dry dock is where they build the ship. And it's way down in the ground, I'll say like, I can't even imagine. Must be 100 feet down. And the hulk of that ship starts from the very bottom and builds up. Build the ship first. When it's all built, they run water in there. And the sails right on out.
How did it feel to stand up for yourself when they didn't give you enough time to eat lunch?
They had a laundry. You know, we always had the Navy Yard. And we had a laundry down there that did the laundry for the sailors to go out on the ships. This particular day, we were running late, and she wanted us to work on our lunch hour. My job was to feed the mangle. A mangle is a real wide apparatus that you feed the sheets into. It irons them and dries them. Well, to do that, you needed both hands. So how are you going to eat with one hand and feed the mangle with the other? So I quit. I said, well, I just won't work. I went home. When I got home, a few days later, I got a letter from the government. They didn't want anybody to quit a job during the war. They need every able-bodied person. They sent me an application for Sheep Middle School. I filled it out. They sent me to school for about 6 to 8 weeks. And that's how I come to work at the Navy Yard.
It's amazing. See, so stand up for yourself.
Yep.
Right? I think that's a big message to take home, girls.
And reason being, I had 2 little girls. My husband was in the service. And I was getting what they call an allotment. So I wasn't hurting at that time for money.
Okay.
So they really did me a favor. I made more money.
There you go. See, you never know what opportunities hold when you stick up for yourself.
Right, and that's what I call, that was opportunity knocking on my door.
Yeah, absolutely.
So were you ever able to go see or go on board some of the ships you built, and how did it feel?
No, I didn't. You know, that was the war effort. You weren't able to go on those ships. That ship was commissioned with Navy people. But I was able to go on it when they, you know, put it out to sea. And it was commissioned. I couldn't go. I think one of my children was sick and I couldn't go, but I saw it all finished. I carried 100 planes.
Amazing. And how did you feel being on this thing that you had been part of creating?
Oh, well, you know, you felt like it was $1 million. Even after the war, you know, when somebody said something about what you did, you felt big. You felt important. Mr. Cook started this. It wasn't nothing to me, but, you know, I have 2 daughters, 2 granddaughters, 5 great-grands, and 9 great-greats. Well, they don't know anything about World War II, and my girls are not old enough to remember it. So to them, it was a big thing. So I guess it made me feel better when the little ones took such an interest in it.
Absolutely. I mean, talk about a legacy, Ruth. That's
yes, and then I've got a lot of things that they can have when I'm gone. That's what I'd like for these girls to come and see, all the things that I have from being in this Rosie the Riveter.
I'm telling you, we're going to figure it out. Like, when this COVID goes away, it's happening. And
in 2018, for Martin Luther King's birthday, I rang the Liberty Bell. And I have a picture of that. And the mayor gave me a replica of the Liberty Bell. Oh, the replica is about, let me see, it's about 4 inches high, about 5 inches wide. And the bell really rings, but I don't let anyone touch it because it's special.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's amazing. Hold on, I'm letting one of our interviewers back in because she actually has another question for you. And then if you've got a little bit of time, I'd love to just let them ask any questions that came up in this kind of last few minutes.
Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Miss Wilson, if you could go back in time, would you do it all again?
Yes, I would, because you know what? I don't regret one thing I've ever done in life. And I'm 98 years old. And a lot of people ask me, are you depressed? I've never been depressed. If I make it to April 5th, I'll be 99 years old.
99.
And I still do my own laundry and my own cooking. I can't run the vacuum because it exerts me too much. I have COPD.
Ladies, I know I have a million questions and we could probably go on all day, but I want to give you the opportunity that after just getting the opportunity to speak to Ruth, if you have any kind of burning questions that you want to ask before we say our goodbyes and our thank yous.
Do you keep in touch with any of the wonderful women you met during the war?
Wow, but you know, that was way back in 44, 45 when the war was over. And so they've all died out. I'm the only one living that I know of worked around in our circle.
So does everybody want to take themselves off of mute? We'll say thank you and we'll do a big old we can do it to close us out.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson.
Oh, you're so welcome. Anytime.
So we end every one of our calls try to inspire that same we can do it spirit that you worked at, that you seem to hold through every aspect of your life, and that we hope all of these girls keep armed with that. We can
do it.
You're welcome, and you can call me anytime.